This is Gemara Pesachim Daf Nun Beis, the learning for the month of Tevi. Says it's answered as a special Chosi l'Nisham v'li Rashi Basar Yaleib, as well as Chosi l'Nisham v'Yaleib and Yaakov. The Shamish have an Aliyah. The Chos of all the learning, the entire Chabura should be a tremendous Chosi l'Nishmasam. Of course, our Chadim Chamizim and Malkid Michel Sipar the Asile Yehuva Yudavir Minikir Men of the Vega Chaim and Sar Shalom Simon Rezidol Sar Baskenen Deli Tapasim Chayse Yisrael B'Mindol Eliyah the President Shavalei Shalom Bas Naomi Bashafigur Shechana Faldavani Teriva Shmuel Ben Tila Al Terifka Baslava Daniel Ben Chana Rezel Malchaya Besamina Yudari Rafal Ben Gita Librach Basavia Musa Besoy Sha'ar Chali Yisrael. Again, just an apology that the shiur is a bit late. There were technical issues with the first recording. That's why I'm sure some of you saw the audio. Some of you were just waiting. I apologize. Hopefully this should not happen again. Let's pick it up in the bottom of Nun Aleph of Mebez, continuing the theme of this parak, the dinim of minhagim, that when you change, when you follow where you're at. Let's see what's going on over here. It says the Gemara, the last line in Aleph of Mebez, Amrli Rav Savra L'Rav Kegoinanan, all stedina b'kviyah diarcha. We know the kviyah diarcha. We know when yontif should be and should not be. Meaning, we know when should be 1 day yontif, when should be 2 days yontif. So, are we allowed to keep only 1 day yontif? Says the Gemara, b'yishav le'yavinna. B'yishav amongst a Jewish town, for example, someone in Eretz Yisrael keeps 1 day. Go to America, they're keeping 2 days. B'yishav, when you're amongst people who are keeping yontif, le'yavinna. You're not allowed to not keep yontif. Why? Neishinim achleikes causes them achleikes. Says Taisus in the top, Taisus is very important that B'tzinna, even B'tzinna, you're not even allowed to do malacha. L'doloi l'efshel malacha, you're not even allowed to do malacha B'tzinna in privacy, because l'maisa it's yontif for everyone else. You're not allowed to do malacha yourself. Says the Gemara, b'midbar mai. What is the halacha b'midbar when you're not amongst the yedin? Amarlei achim ravami b'yishav aser. B'midbar is going to be mutter, which it could be such a case. Again, the same exact case. A Israeli, someone who keeps 1 day of yontif, that travels out to somewhere there are no Jews, seemingly in such a place, he would not have to keep 2 days yontif because there's no one else that sees him, meaning there's no minhag that he has to follow. Says the Gemara of Nasan bar Asya, Aslam Rav Pamadisa, b'yontif shen sha'azeres, he went for the shiva of Rav all the way to Pamadisa, violating the halachas of Tzcham. Shanti Rav Yosef used to put him in chayrim. You're not allowed to do that. Amarlei Abaye says Abaye Legni Mar Negidi. We should give him malchus. Amarlei responds Adifa of delay. Putting him in chayrim is worse than giving him malchus. Tibim Arava in the west. Bimne Anigda. Tvar Beirav. They used to give malchus to a Tamachachav Lod Mimne Yashmait. So they never put in chayrim. So we see clearly that chayrim is more chomer, more stringent than even giving malchus. So he responded, I give the more stringent punishment. I put him into chayrim. Ikad Yarmi, a second shot of the Gemara is Nagdi Rav Yosef, the opposite. He actually gave him malchus. And now I'm by the exact opposite question. The Shanti Mar, why didn't you put him into chayrim? The Rav Ushmal Dermatabayam and Adonal Shneim Tayvin, that we put someone into chayrim if he's over on Shem and Tayvin Shal Galias. If you're over on Yotav Shem, needs very chomer, you get malchus. So what's going on over here? So Amar Lei, the exact opposite response. Honey, me the Inshi Dalma. Those are regular people. And here, what are we doing with Talmidei Chachamim? The Tavalei Avda, I dislike better, meaning I did not give them the stringent punishment. They only gave malchus, they did not give chayrim, and the fact that I put him into chayrim is even. Sorry, in this lashon he's saying that he gave him malchus, and he's saying he did not give them the stringent punishment. Again, the stronger punishment would be to put him in chayrim. He's saying I was more makel because he's Talmid Chacham. I only gave him malchus. We continue by the two dots. So let's remind yourself what was going on in the Mishnah. Someone is bringing peiros of Shemitah, the produce from a place where it's finished to a place where it's not finished. Again, the halacha is Shemitah, of course, you're not allowed to plant, you're not allowed to plow, etc. You're not allowed to pick the produce. However, the halacha is, as long as there's produce out in the fields that the animals are eating, you're allowed to bring the produce into your house to feed the animals. As soon as the produce in the field is finished, you got to get rid of all the produce from your house. That is called the Zman Bir, the time to get rid of the crops. And so now the question in our Mishnah is, what happens when you go from place A to place B? In one place they have crop, in one place they do not have crop. What is the halacha? When do you have to get rid of it? So we're going to have multiple pshatim explaining this. And we had a Tanakama and then Rav Yehuda on the Mishnah. Tanakama seemingly always said you take on both chumras. And Rav Yehuda was more forgiving. He said something like, we have to look what's going on in the world, which we'll see what that means right now. Says Gemara, blessed Rav Yehuda Tanan. Rav Yehuda argues on the Tanakama. So it sounds like Rav Yehuda does not hold to the following Mishnah. Sounds like Rav Yehuda does not hold. The Tanakama seemingly was saying that we give both chumras. Rav Yehuda is saying not. Says the Gemara, does Rav Yehuda not hold of such a Mishnah? Rav Shisha Breder Rav Idi. We're going to have many pshatim on this machlekes Rav Yehuda and the Chachamim. Says Rav Shisha Breder Rav Idi. Milzach Riti Gomer Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda is saying something different. This is what's going on in the Mishnah. The case is as follows. You went from place A to place B, and in both places, the crops are not finished in the field. So if they're not finished in the field, you're allowed to bring them into your house. However, when you got to place B, Vishama, you heard that back in place A where you originated, the crops are finished. The Chayiv Levayer says that Tanakam, you have to get rid of it, even though right now where you are, there are crops. But because the place that you originated, there were no crops, even in this place, you have to get rid of the crops. Rav Yehuda says, no. You could also go bring where I brought. It's very good that right now, in the previous place, there were not crops. So right here, there are. Says Rav Yehuda, you do not have to get rid of them. Says the Gemara, and they're not finished over there. It sounds like if you're just saying a massive kula. The Tanakama is saying that if you finish the crop in one place, you gotta get rid of it. And see, Rav Yehuda's arguing, he's saying as long as there's some crop left, you don't have to get rid of it. Which of course sounds like Rav Yehuda is saying a kula. Ask the Gemara of Amar Rav Elazar, Rav Yehuda el l'chumra. We know that Rav Yehuda only says a din l'chumra. So how are you telling me it's a kula? Explains the Gemara, you have to switch around the names. The Tanakama says, Tanakama holds, you don't have to get rid of the produce, because this produce somewhere else. Again, the case you went from place A to place B, and you find out that back in place A, the crops are finished. Rav Yehuda it's finished in place A, and therefore says Rav Yehuda, you yes have to get rid of it. And here Rav Yehuda is being more machmir. That is pshat number one in the machlekes Rav Yehuda and the Chachamim in the Mishnah. Abaye Amar, a second pshat lo'elam k'diktani, really is like we learned originally. Bachi Kamar. This is pshat in the Mishnah. You're going from place A where there's crops are not finished. L'makim shekalu, you go to place B where the crop is yes finished. V'achzira on the mekaimon, and then you go back to place A where it's not finished. It's a swing saw, a seesaw, a ping pong. Place A, there are crops. You go to place B, there are no crops. And then you go back home to place A where there still are crops. V'adayin lekalu, and there's still crops back in the original place. What's the din? Says that you don't have to get rid of it. There's crop here, there's crop there. Rav Yehuda, no. Save Hatzlacha v'ata meichadaitinu. Just like I went through that place that didn't have crop, therefore you're going to have to get rid of it. It's going to be considered this man beer. So Maskler Rav is so bothered. The question is bothering all of us. Rav Yehuda, what's going on over here? Is it the back of the donkey that makes it captured? What? It says Rav Ashi, I don't understand. Because you detoured and you went through a city that the crop was finished, that means when you come back home, you have to get rid of the crop. Rav Ashi cannot believe such a thing. Therefore says Rav Ashi, a noob shot, a second or a third shot. But look at Dani tonight, Rav Yehuda and the Chachamim are arguing about the following machlekes that they're not even there to the Mishnah. You pickle 3 picklings in one barrel. Again, the same type of case. We're on Shemitah, we're trying to figure out at what extent you have to get rid of the produce, and you go and you pickle the produce. So we have 3 shitas. Rav Elazar, that as soon as the first crop is finished in the field, which we know, we just said that when the crop is finished in the field, you got to get rid of the crop in your house. Says Rav Elazar, you have 3 crops in the barrel. As soon as the first one is finished in your field, you got to get rid of the one from your house. All of them. Rav Yeshua, no. And you wait until the last one. Again, a bigger chiddush the opposite way. Very big kula. Even though the first 2 are finished, this one is not. And this is going to be the opinion of the Tanakama. Rav Gamliel Omer, Kol Shekalu Minoi, Min Asadi Yavar Mimenu, Min Achavis. It says the Rav Gamliel that no, we go by each item subjectively, and that's the opinion of Rav Yehuda. Balacha Kidvarav. Let's just go into Rashi for one moment as Rashi explains how the machlekes Rav Yehuda and Tanakama fits into Rav Gamliel and fits into, to Rav Yeshua and Rav Gamliel. Says Rashi in the first white line, V'tana demas nisan Rav Yehuda ba'apligi, this is the machlekes. Tanakama savar la Rav Yeshua. Tanakama older Rav Yeshua didn't make lose the most makel. Again, Rav Yeshua said as long as there's one crop left anywhere, you got to keep all the crops. Similarly, if you go from a place where it's not finished, later that it's finished, kulan chayav levayer. You have to get rid of everyone. Avol kuloi chayav levayer. Avol kuloi miksasan. Avol kuloi. All kuloi. I'm sorry, miksasan oichal af mi min. Af mi min. Again, av mi min arkala. Again, chayav levayer avol kuloi. Basically, what we're saying over here is that's only when partially is finished. You have to wait until the whole thing is finished. Halacha Rav Yeshua, when Rav Yehuda said, go see if there's anything left, that's like Rabbi Gamliel, that he's saying as long as there's one of these three crops left in the field, that is enough, tantamount and paramount to dinner Rabbi Yehuda. They always say, go check if there's anything available anywhere. Says the Gemara, that's a second way, or a third way of learning the machlekes, Rav Yehuda and the Tanakamim. Ravina Amar, third way, the Dani Tanai, that's arguing the following Tanaim. The Tanam, you learn to the Mishnah, you're allowed to eat dates. We're talking about some small dates. So the last dates are finished in Savar. Rav Shimon Gamliel says Rav Shimon Gamliel, moving along to and there's two types of places where these dates get stuck. They're stuck in the branches up on top, and they get stuck in the thorns on the bottom. So it says Rav Yehuda, says Rav Shimon Gamliel, that you eat for those who are stuck in the branches, because those are still potentially able to get them, but the guys that are stuck in the thorns, the animals can never get there, and therefore you're not allowed to eat. Again, we're trying to figure out at what point the produce is considered to be finished in the field. So we're saying that as long as there's produce on the trees, in the branches, that's enough, not if it's stuck onto the thorns. Says the Gemara, that is a third shot how we're going to learn the machlekes of Yehuda and the Tanakama. Says the Gemara, and actually let's just see one more Rashi. When Rashi speaks out what the machlekes is, Rashi 3 lines into the narrow lines. Tanakama says the crop is 100% finished, even between the thorns. Chayav levayer, avokula imenakibin, v'adayin yishvitzit nein chayav levayer. Rav Yehuda imer no, si lav chavat magmarayu lilan, v'loi timsa lechomra am Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda being a chomra says Rav Yehuda, the fact that there's some dates left stuck into the thorns, I don't care about that. Those dates the animals cannot get to. So says Rav Yehuda, you'd have to get rid of the produce from your house. Tanan also, continuing, we can learn to the Mishnah, these dinim of beer, 2 lines down in Bezim and Bez. Shalosh haratzes lebir, there's 3 lands, Yehuda, Eber Yardim, and Galil. V'shalosh haratzes l'achzachas, and within each one, within Yehuda, within Eber Yardim, within Galil, each one has 3, a subdivision of A, B, and C. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, 8, 9. What is these 3 lands? Within each one, A, B, and C, within A, there's 3 different ones. Within each one, the last one to be consumed is when the whole area has to do the beer. Says Gemara Benani, immediately where I know this from, Amar Rav Chama, Amar Rav Yossi, Rav Chanina, Amar Kras says in the Torah, you have to feed the crops of Shemitah to your animals and your domesticated animals. Says the Gemara, so we darshan the fact that it put together Be'emtecha and Chaya teaches me as long as the Chayos, the wild animals, are eating it from the field, you can feed your animal at home. When those are finished, then it's finished on the animal from even from that which is in your house. Gemiri says the Gemara, the animals do not step over their boundaries, whether it's city boundaries, town boundaries, Yehuda, even Varidin, and Galil, the animals did not go back and forth, therefore you're not be allowed to take the produce into your house. Says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanan, continuing this theme of how we get rid of the payers of Shemitah. Says the Gemara, whether that was allowed or not, you didn't ask, but you brought some payers out from Eretz Yisrael. Misbarin b'chol makom she'ein, says the Tanakama, wherever you are, you got to get rid of those produce. This produce of Shemitah. Shimon Elazar, no yasul ma'kaimam v'yisbaru. You have to go back to Yerushalayim and get rid of them there. Shimon shenemer ba'aretzecha, we learn from ba'aretzecha. Says Gemara, ba'aretzecha, 1 second. But we already learned out from the Eretzecha, we already learned out that pasuk. So why are you telling me that the pasuk is left? Says the Gemara, ba'aretzecha. 2 different drashas, because it ba'aretz and ba'aretzecha, teach me a second drasha. Inami, says the Gemara, me'asher ba'aretzecha, from that, the actual word asher is where we darshan. Rav Savra, nothing merits Yisrael, l'chutz la'aretz avi be'edei, Karva the Charm of the Shviz, he had a jug full of wine of Shemitah. Lavu ba'adei Ravuna Breder Avika Rav Kahana. Ravuna Breder Avika and Rav Kahana were going together with Rav Safra on the boat. Armalu Ika Shmili Minei Rav Avua Alach Rav Shimon Elazar Alai. Did anyone hear whether we pass like Rav Shimon Elazar? Armalu Rav Kahana. Hachem Rav Avua Alach Rav Shimon Elazar. We yes, paskin like him. Amar li Rav Huna Brei Rav Yikachim Rav Hua Ein Halachim Shimon Gamliel. So machlekes between Rav Huna and Rav Kahana whether we pass like Shimon Gamliel. Says the Gemara Amar Rav Safra Nokadai Klal B'Yadcha. Nokadai Klal. Grab hold of this klal. The Rav Huna B'Yadcha. Rav Huna in your hand. The Dai V'Gam Mishmaitzim and Pumi the Rabbi Krachavam Disa. He was so precise in the words of his Rabbi. He for sure remembers the best. The Amar Rachavam Rav Yudah Rabbi Stiv Kavala Stiv Levnim Stiv. It was one bench in another showing you the detail and the minutia that the Talmud remembered. That my nation in the distress are going to ask up and if you're a mekel loy magid loy, they'll be mekel for you. An important concept. Again, to be machmer is easy. To be mekel is not so simple. Rav Eloi was Kotzbav Anaisa the Shvis. He cut down a tree on Shemitah. Hechi Avid Achi asked the Gemara. Did you not let it stop cut down a tree? So why are you doing it? It's only for eating purposes. Maybe you'll tell me maybe it's only when you want the fruit. These offshoots, these husks of arla asuri, they're aser. One of the shem the bri, bekafri, karle peiri, and yeah, we see they're called peiri, even they're at a very small stage. Rav Nachman, Damar, Rav Yosi, Dinan, Rav Yosi, Omer, Smader, Osneshu, Beiri, Pli Rabbanan Ale, and the Rabbanan argue, and that's the reason why you have different over here, because Rabbanan argue, and rather they hold it as to go by where exactly you are. We'll pick it up from here tomorrow.